camera is this. Test. 1, 2, 3, test. Test. 1, 2, 3. Am I audible also now for you in YouTube?
Yes, you are.
Yes. Then the microphone is picking up. So I tell you which microphone I've chosen. It is the one with communications. And during the when something happens, never always yes. And
The camera turned off somehow.
because I have this is large and I've always an extra finger on it. And so my other finger is controlling and I'm not used to it. Yes.
You have to choose
Yes. And camera also, yes. And also, yes, the Logitech is the camera, the communications is the microphone. And always check whether they are chosen, because it can perhaps happen when you do something wrong that it falls back. And we move the laptop a little bit, that this is not sticking out of the table. Yes.
Should we get started then?
Yes. This room is ready.
Actually, even speaker is not joined, so I'd glad. I mean, ask Neeraj to start. I'll just start. Yeah, you can start. We can wait, Neeraj, if you want a larger audience. They will probably call some people actually. This is like a hallway session. You go and interact individually. I can just stand in a corner in Bangalore. I will probably get a larger audience. Exactly.
And they all have phones that can call their friends to come.
13 workshop. There's the mic. He'll have a workshop. There's nothing set up. For you. Have to go there. What do you mic?
Yes. Should we go there?
Yeah. अपने फ्रेंड्स को बुलाओ यार, कोई नहीं बोल दो मैं पिज्जा स्पॉन्सर करता हूं.
And the camera can be adjusted. You must look when you are standing there. And also the projection screen, once the slides are on, has to be made full screen.
Over there, that should work. How will I get my slides? To where?
Or as a PDF file. I think as a PDF file is easier.
I'm gonna embed. I have 3 demo videos I want to show. It is embedded in the slide itself, but it will go to YouTube. You guys can play it, right? Yeah. Okay, fine. I'll just. Here you can the screen as well. Up on your laptop. Then. So if I can share my screen from here, then it's fine. Will it be streaming then? Actually, I can. I'm telling that you can share the video to this laptop and then you can share this. You can play. Sure. That's what it works. Okay. I mean, in short, TLDR, you'll not be able to come to your laptop. You'll have to send everything to this line. He's saying something else. Actually, I'm telling you, but he'll have to log in into Steam. Yeah. He cannot leave his laptop, right? Okay, fine. Steam bend link present so ये लैपटॉप का room 2.
Yes. And for projection, one does not need to log into StreamYard. One only needs the link for remote speaking.
Correct.
So you can go to the Indico, and in the main view, in the
मेरे उससे भेज देने कोई दिक्कत नहीं है. फिर यूट्यूब चलाना तो यूट्यूब से उनको बता दो ओएससी है ना. यहाँ पे कौन है तुम्हारा पीओसी कौन है यहाँ पे? पीओसी आया नहीं, वही दिक्कत है. इसलिए इसको बना दो, एक फिर देख लेगा सारे. ये कौन सा कर रहे हो? रूम 2 का सेटअप करो. मैं L13 में करना है. लैपटॉप में इसलिए लैपटॉप लेके चला गया वही यहाँ पे ना. और जो यूट्यूब वाली लिंक है ना, उससे चेक करते रहना. ऑडियो आ रहा है कि कल 4 ऑडियो चलेगा. ठीक है, तो मेक श्योर दैट इज हैपनिंग. तो यहाँ पे कोई रखो, एक बंदा रहो. ओके
Yes. And I better and we better not schedule it that my workshop is in the first one. No,
इसमें करना इसमें तो ऑलरेडी है लॉगिन अभी कर दिया प्रेजेंट ही सो L18 is ready.
तो एक ही था क्या
हाँ हाँ
तो मैं वहाँ पे जाऊँ
18 लेटिन
क्या भी अरे
हम लोग ढूंढ रहे हैं हाँ कहाँ आ रहे हैं लेटिन हाँ हाँ तो हिंदुस्तान में हुआ तो वो तो जाएंगे हाँ लाइव में
चल आई भी है क्या
हाँ
स्टार्ट कर दो एक बार यूट्यूब वाला चैनल वो सब यार ये तो चलेगा ना मेरे को दो लोग देख करके एक बार
क्यों नहीं उठा रहा है?
कौन से दिखेंगे?
पता है, एक बार वो चेक कर ली कि ऑडियो आ रही है। यहाँ से ऑडियो जा रहा है शायद चेक कर 5 मिनट चेक कराता हूँ ऑडियो कर रहे हैं चुप है।
ये लोग अच्छे होते हैं।
तू जल्दी निकल कोई अरे संस्कार को फोन देना है। फोन भी नहीं उठा रहा भाई। ये 12-13 मैच शुरुआत की शुरू करना है। अरे लाइव शुरू करना है कैसे? अरे तो एक बार बात करवा दे कहीं भी ढूंढ ले यार। 12-13 में अच्छा लग रहा
तो तुम्हारे पास फोन है? एक बार यूट्यूब का खोलो। ऑल टीम पे ही तो है। ऑल टीम पे ही तो है।
कहीं तो है।
कल मैंने खुद निकाली थी और दिख नहीं रहा।
पूरा सेटअप सीखना पड़ेगा।
ये वहाँ तक जाके देख के आ आगे क्या सारे लोग जाएंगे।
चले गए कुछ करेगा तो
उनको भी इंस्टा लाइव करके नहीं भेजता है। देखा
नहीं ऑल टीम में नहीं।
सारे ग्रुप्स में तुम इंस्टाग्राम में ऑनलाइन से किसी को फर्क नहीं पड़ता। ऐसे स्टार्ट कर गया।
वही लो मेरी बात करा दो। हेलो हेलो अरे तू मत छोड़ अभी यहाँ पे करवाना है सेशन यार। मर्ज तो आ जाएगी। सुन मेरी बात सुन। संस्कार है तेरे पास कहीं? हेलो हेलो तू मेरा फोन उठा रहा मैं देख के आता हूँ ठीक है? तू मेरा फोन उठा लेना मैं देख के आता हूँ। हेलो तो
I-24 है। अभी यहाँ पे नीरज का टॉक होने वाली थी पर कुछ तो हो रहा था। आगे फर्दर नहीं जा पा रही थी तो लाइक वो L12 और L13 जाके देखने वाले। सारे लोग L12 L13 नहीं है। वहाँ भी टॉक हो रही है।
मतलब यहाँ सेटअप के हिसाब से सब कुछ शॉर्ट है।
सेटअप तो शॉर्ट है।
तो मतलब अपने एंड से कोई दिक्कत नहीं है ना?
नहीं है।
अब तो देख लीजिए नहीं है।
मैं देख लूंगी पर पॉइंट ये है ना कि कोई है ही नहीं। नीरज भी वही चला गया।
नीरज तो 12:30 बजे आएगा। तो मिला था नीरज से। संस्कार कहाँ है?
संस्कार हम तो कॉल कर ही रहे हैं, उसको उठा नहीं रहा है। हाँ,
अरे इसको टी शर्ट देखनी है, बस बात टी शर्ट देखनी है बस यही है।
अच्छा ठीक है।
हाँ बाहर ही है तो काम मैं आपको उसका पासवर्ड
हाँ? वो बाहर देखिए।
गलत संस्कार के साथ नहीं
क्या नंबर नोट करके?
नहीं ये उस लैपटॉप का पासवर्ड है, अगर वो चेक हो जाएगा तो पासवर्ड और लैपटॉप है ना
तो डायरेक्टली भेज लेते हैं ना।
तो सब
तो कॉपी, वही तो मैं बोल रही हूँ, कॉपी कर ली मतलब।
उस लैपटॉप का पासवर्ड
और मेरे जिसका प्रेजेंटेशन है वही घर चला गया।
कहाँ है ठीक है फ्री पिज्जा बोलिए हाँ फ्री पिज्जा
क्या है क्या?
Since you're waiting, give me the mic. I'll just engage with the people.
we'll have some fun.
Hello. All right. I think we are in a waiting pattern here for some reason. So I thought I'll engage with you all. I'm Neeraj. I'm the co-founder and CEO of a company called Plenary. We are one of the sponsors. So we are building platform and applications for running AI locally on your devices. To laptops, to wearables, to performance. I have a long history of working in open source. I was one of the leaders of a very open source community called ISTIO, ISTIO, and I led it for close to 5 to 6 years. In Bangladesh, we are building it in the open source. So, just wanted to ask, raise of hands. First of all, can everyone come forward? I mean, I don't bite, people don't bite each other, right? Come forward. It feels very bad as a speaker when you see these 5 people here, 2 people there, 3 people there. Aja, yaar, it's fine. I have been a student before also. Come, get up. Fill these seats. Thank you. Over there. Sorry?
You can connect the
Power source here. Anyways, you're watching some crap. This is much better, right? So when you are also the speakers and you on the stage, you will see the difference. When you can see faces and you can't see faces. Okay. All right. So now that we have more of a cluster here, who are not here from IIT Kanpur? I know, but IIT Kanpur is going to come again. All right. So which colleges and universities are mostly here?
Right से आ गया
Mumbai. Which university? Mumbai University. How about you guys? Okay, very good. So, why did you guys come to this conference? What did you want out of it? Hey, what mic?
हाँ हाँ
You guys can take this one. Just don't be shy. Let's talk. Why did you guys decide to come?
So for gaining experience and building networks.
Which year are you?
And second, BTech is
Yes. You all are here for a reason, right? So share the reason. Hi, sir, and to all the members present. I am Vishnu Tiwari from AKTU in Lucknow. Maybe I'm studying less than a college in less than tier 3, and over there exposure is very much not very much good. Experiences की प्रोफेसर आता है पढ़ाते जाता है सिर्फ ये है आईटी कानपुर आने में सिर्फ एक मोटिव था कि नो व्हाट द कल्चर इज व्हाट द रियल वर्ल्ड इज वहां पर 9 to 5 में क्लासेस के उसका खत्म छुट्टी यहाँ पर आगे पता चल रहा है कि 9 to 5 के बाद भी लाइफ है इसीलिए मेन मोटिव था यहाँ आने का
Hello everyone, here is speaking Darwin Vivek from IIT Lucknow, currently working as AIF Master Trainer and SNPTC Resource Person. Sir, my main motto to come here to attend this conference is that of connecting networking. Because in college we used to get the opportunity, but I think in whichever sector we are currently working, we are currently studying, we need to get our networking first. I think it's an opportunity to gain some experience and learning. And then after all, finally I got the BTech from like all of the resource persons. I am so thankful to all of you that I got the opportunity to meet from all of you. And second one is that to gain some knowledge, like open source, what is exactly the open source is. Because when in theoretical terms, we all used to learn theoretically, not practically, not something like this. So that's why that was the main motto to learn from the professionals. Is there anyone? So that
Hello. Yeah. Thank you. Please, if anyone else, go for it. Because you all have come here for networking, learning, right? This is what networking means.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon, sir. Good afternoon, everyone. I am Subi Mishra from IIT Kanpur. So, like, जैसे हम लोग tier 2 कॉलेज से हैं, तो like मेरा मोटिव ये था कि IIT करते हैं, वहाँ पे explore करते हैं, networking बनाते हैं. तो like जो मेरा main motive था, like मेरे को hackathons में काफी ज़्यादा interest है. तो like जो last day होगा, उसपे hackathon हुआ है. तो मेरा सबसे main motive है कि hackathon में जाएंगे, participate करेंगे और मतलब सीख के आएंगे. और like जो open source contribution है, उससे भी काफी चीजें सीखने को मिलेगी. बट जो मेन मोटिव था वो नेटवर्किंग का था कि अच्छे से लोगों से मिलेंगे, उनसे नेटवर्किंग पढ़ेंगे तो आगे लाइक डेली तो सो ये
No, good, good. Please, anyone else?
Hello everyone. Sir, I want to ask you so after I am
सेटिंग नहीं ये तो बोलता कि
so what are the challenges that you have faced at the time when you were on the idea of making the company? What mistake I should not follow and how I should fulfill it?
Yeah, good question. So just a bit of my background. I was going to do this. So this is a 6 startup. I graduated from BITS Plenary. I did my masters in US. Then I was in US for close to 12 years. I came back to India. I had my startup when I was in Boulder for around 2 years. Ran it for close to 4 years. And now I founded Nimble Edge. Nimble Edge, other co-founder is IIT Kanpur. But he could not be here because of the personal reasons. So that's why I'm here. We are converted to IIT Kanpur also. But so in terms of startups, I would say, see, in India India right now, doing startups is a thing. When I graduated, it was not. I graduated in 2009. When I graduated, and I was telling my parents that I will not be working for some large companies, they were like, "What are you talking about? Why are you joining a company whose name don't even know?" Right? So now no one really asks those questions. So there are few phases I would say you should go through. There are few phases I would say you should go through before you think that you want to start your own company. For me, my first 3 companies I joined very early on in startups. So it helped me understand and learn from others what are the things to not do or do better. For example, one of the things I would say is you always have to hire the best people around you. There's no compromises with that. Startups are one of the things where you cannot succeed without a team. It's not a single tennis match that you can do by yourself. You need a team around you, you need a very good team around you. So you have to go all in. And the thing is, you will make mistakes. You will make mistakes in hiring because as much as you want, you might not be able to see all the aspects of the person in the first few hours in the meeting, right? So Varun and I, when we met, we were just chatting for 2.5 hours, and over the whole week, we must have chatted for 20-25 hours. Because investing and working in a startup together is a big commitment. Right? So I would say focus on hiring the best people. You will make mistakes in that. Fix them quickly. What does fix them quickly means? You have to be honest with the person saying that things are working out or things are not working out. If things are not working out, give them feedback. Tell them what we can do to make it better. But at the end of the day, you have to be honest. And the time comes, you can do that. But they can do that's the first thing I would say. Second thing for me, which I think is not needed in the Indian. Anyways, right now, one of the things which I would say is very much needed in the Indian ecosystem is you have to work towards excellence. So I think there's a mentality in us sometimes that we can find a shortcut and quickly rise to something. It doesn't happen. All the people I know quite a few co-founders in my life, I still know. If they are above me, whatever domain, they work harder than me. There's rarely a time which I have worked with less than 12 hours right now. And this is close to my 15, 16 hours. It's 16 years of work. And 6 plus hours. So there's never going to be a shortcut for hard work. But you have to strive for excellence. Right? You can't settle for average. Startups are where if you are average, you will get pushed out immediately with a new shiny startup which is ready to take risks and move faster. Third thing, and this is what I'm telling you with the grain of salt. So, my mom is saying that was last time from my grandfather. And if you know what I'm saying, so I'm saying that people who are giving you advice, who will give you advice.
यहाँ पे वो करके कनेक्ट तो उसको लगाना जरूरी है स्पीकर ताकि रिकॉर्ड उसमें आवाज जाए मतलब यूट्यूब पे आवाज जाने के लिए ये लगाना जरूरी है हाँ
Okay, so the thing is,
इसका कम है भाई बारह इसको है ना बारह बाकी ऊपर वाले हो गए बाकी आया नहीं है कौन है ये कौन है किसको अरे यही तो है आया नहीं है इसलिए इसका आया नहीं मतलब अब जाए नहीं ठीक अभी करिए
so listen to whoever you want, listen to all the feedback you want. So the thing about a founder is, a founder has to believe that he or she knows the best about this. I have a unique perspective about this. That's why I'm building a company. That's why I'm building this at home. So you can take all the efforts, then you should do what your heart says. Because you are some sort of man who knows something that somebody else doesn't know.
फिर से ये मोहम्मद
So that's why I always say we ask for advice, he has any network.
ये हेडलेयर ये जो भी है, ये नहीं आया था, ये अर्जुन में नहीं आया। अर्जुन कौन है ये? अर्जुन कुमार का स्टोरी इसका ये था यहाँ पे बैठा हुआ है। तो इसका होना था ना। हाँ ये इसके बाद अभी ये टॉक नहीं कर रहा, ये बस ऑडियंस एंटरटेन कर रहा है। अभी कोई स्पीकर आए तो ये उठ के उनको दे देने के लिए तैयार है। ये बैठा हुआ है स्पीकर, तो ये बुलाना इसको, बुलाना ये सामने बैठा हुआ है। तो बोलो ना, बोलो उसको, बोलो ना इसको। यही तो नहीं पता था कि ये है कौन। तो बोल।
Any other questions? Anyone wants to say what they want to get out of the conference? Please. Sir, you said that you have previously made many of the companies, many of the startups. So what is the limit that I am getting paid again and again in a specific domain? So I'm working on the same path. How do you know that I am doing correct? Because failure is a part of the success. But if I'm getting paid again and again in a specific domain, so is it right to switch to a domain or to continue on that? What is the limit?
उसको मत, इसको संस्कार एडजस्ट करना
In India, we don't celebrate failures.
You are pilot to ship. This is
Parents,
after this.
we did thousands of these floors.
He is the co-author, I think Arjun
Don't worry about failures. It's about your happiness.
issue
And it's totally fine to say I work with startups, I've been with startups for 6 years. I'm going to go and work in a large company because I feel this thing is what I'm
which is tracks, yeah.
So in my journey,
Tracks to have.
one of my startups was how can I bring a better culture in startups I create and motivate people? Because at the end of the day, in a startup, you always have less people a year or less money. For example, Microsoft is because they want to partner. Why would Microsoft want to partner? Because we can deliver something of value much faster than even with thousands of dollars of material. So those are things that excite me. Worry about so much about it. But if you want to learn something, take a break, go and learn from us. Go and figure out how the right conversation is. Other how to know that my experience, project, and according to the market for there's no idea. So I think the seaport.
I can share the slides and I have video for them also. No. Wait, इनको complete करने दो ना पहले. Let him complete.
Schedule का इनका बाद है. अभी what he is doing is because we have a professional assistant cover.
Any other questions?
No technical questions. इसमें
You have made huge contributions to open source. So my question is, how do you make a living while contributing to open source?
Yeah. So see, open source. So first of all, why do people do open source? It's a free answer.
इसको प्रेजेंट करने जरूरी है इसके स्ट्रीमर पे तो अभी स्ट्रीमर पे चलाओ या नहीं हाँ ये है कि किसका
So you have to present now, right? So just
This is live है क्या?
हाँ live और YouTube पे और record हो जाएगा इसी वाले इसको करोगे तो अपनी record नहीं होगा
ये हाँ ये करना है।
नहीं आपने वो भेजा होगा
तो प्रीवियस में है।
ओएस वाले पे जीमेल पे
हाँ,
उसके
आप
बाद
अभी
भेज
भेज
दो
दो।
जीमेल पे
जीमेल बताओ आपके आईआईटी में भेजा है मैंने, आपके वाले आईआईटी में भेजा है, जीमेल में भेजा है। बताओ कौन सा क्या ईमेल? हाँ आ गया टीम है ना।
हाँ हाँ
So, I would, yes, that's it has already been mentioned. Free software does not console sometimes different because very often some companies
भैया उस पे भेजिए, टीम वाली पे भेजिए।
it's not free software. So, for example, they can software, they publish the code to GitHub, they may even publish not only release but also commit history. But if you come with a patch, match to them, they will maybe even not look at it or they will refuse you to integrate this patch into their software because they have their own patches. And in this case, they have free software.
डेमो वीडियो भी शेयर किया है आपने, जीमेल पे शेयर किया आपको। वैसे इसमें लिंक होगा, लिंक एक्सेसिबल है वो, आई थिंक इट विल वर्क।
And they just pay money to them. But in practice, that's pseudo, not really open source. Some not really open source, even sometimes cannot be built for source properly. And people who do real free software, they can do it for different reasons. For example, to improve their name, to become better known, just because they like something. And if they do it, they usually have something to live for. So they have a source of money that comes to them, and that allows them to spend some time on this software. Sometimes this software is important for a company. Sometimes a company needs software, they can hire the developer to continue to this software, but be inside the company. Then he may move to another company to continue to develop this software in another company. Different options are available. And here the open Linux, yes, people often move between companies, leave their software. But yes, it's very important to make a difference between free and open source.
प्रेजेंस यहाँ से होगा ना, प्रेजेंस से होगा ना।
Right? When you build LLMs, for example, the LLM models are open. Sometimes the weights were not. Sometimes the weights were open, but the data sets were not. So we came up with a new license recently. It's called Open MW license. Microsoft Foundation, right? So one is the source code available. Second is there a community behind it, right? A community is basically when there is in my opinion, multiple organizations or people from multiple organizations but contributing to an open source project are allowed to do that freely. So why do you as a company or as a developer, why do you open source? I would say there are 3 to 4 reasons. One, you want adoption and distribution. So for a startup like me to go against Microsoft or Google, for example, it's very hard to get traction, especially in the infrastructure. So we are the business of very infrastructure. Right? So getting traction in infrastructure is very hard. You need a quick adoption, quick distribution, feedback. With open source, you can get that feedback fairly. You get some traction, right? Second is building a community around. Right? So that's how you form the adoption. You have
Okay.
So from there, you can
here it will be like from this here and recorded also. अच्छा नहीं हाँ
So just because you are getting distribution and you pay traction doesn't mean that you
हाँ वो लिंक भी हमें शेयर करना पड़ेगा टीम के साथ.
Then additional features are something like if you're ready for the private, then you have SaaS model of the open source. So this is how we establish how you can make open source.
आंसर की बेस में तो तुम लोग ये तो दिखा
It's
रहे
quite hard. But for me, open source is the way of
It is not here. It is not.
especially for a startup that is a really good source of it. But you need to iron out your monetization strategy before not after. So I was recently talking to one of the most popular low-code projects. I won't say the name of the founders. Worldwide, they use to 300,000 developers, but only a small percentage of the case. So you need to be careful.
ये जो ना ये
Right. Thanks everyone. I'll just let them continue.
no one is hosting it. You can start directly. No one is hosting.
Yeah, it's already recording. It's going live.
Make this. Okay. Hi everyone, and thanks Neeraj for the insights. Maybe we can network later on. So I would get started. We have a session on Drupal. I would say like mostly Drupal and AI. So I just want to first ask everyone like who, I think everyone is using AI, right? So who knows Drupal? Anyone? So can you tell a bit what do you know? Anything about Drupal, like? Yeah. So it's just it's not a framework. So it is built on a framework, and it's actually a CMS. It's a content management system. It's one of the best content management systems in the market right now. And this talk is mainly on around Drupal and the solutions in Drupal using AI. So this is the context. So I just move forward. Okay. So what we'll do in this talk is we'll have a little introduction about me and my co-author, and then actually this is my second session here in IIT Kanpur. Last time I have spoken like on a similar topic, Drupal, and this time it is Drupal with AI. So I'll have a recap, right? So what Drupal is for you, because I think only one hand I saw, right? So most of you do not know what is Drupal. So I'll have a recap so that you can understand what is Drupal, how to install it, and what you can do with Drupal. And then we'll have like 3 Ws and an H, right? What is Drupal, why Drupal, and who is using Drupal, right? And then an H, how to use Drupal. So this will have, and then we'll have some AI powered solution, and like we'll discuss more on AI core module in Drupal, its sub modules, then an AI chatbot and some translations, and then followed up with a demo. So this is us, right? So Drupal is open source. We all, I think this is the first thing you should know. And most of the other CMS are so-called open source, I would say. And but when you build with them, there's a cost at scale. There are plugins paid, right? Themes paid, templates paid. But Drupal is very different here because it's totally open source. So you do not have any paid features, like you need not to pay to any external vendor. If you go out of Drupal, maybe a service which, let's say, a caching layer of a Akamai, Cloudflare, if you want to integrate, that's something extra you are doing out of Drupal, and that you have to pay obviously for. But whatever is built in Drupal by community, it's all free. So this is my Drupal profile. So my name is the Drupal Kid on Drupal.org. You guys can go ahead. I'll share the link, scan code to my profile as well. And that's Manav, my co-author. So he is at the rate Manav on Drupal.org. So you guys can quickly go on Drupal.org, just make your profile and get started with open source, right? You can contribute or just utilize it for now and just see what happens next, right? So this is a bit about us. So the first W, right? What is Drupal? So this is very, we need to understand like what is Drupal, because if you say it's just a CMS, I started my journey like you guys only. There was someone who was talking on Drupal, right? And it excited me and I just took it up. It was just like I installed it and I really liked it. And there was a backed up community which supports it, and the people are so awesome that I love doing Drupal. So we should understand what Drupal is. So it has endless capabilities. It's like a Swiss knife you have, right? And if you want to do AI, you can do AI, and you can build real world solutions with it. It's not something like you just go ahead and do a like chat with a chat GPT. You build solutions, whatever you think of on web, you can build it with Drupal. So this is, he's the founder of Drupal, right? And his name is Driss. So you see, his famous quote is, "The true power of Drupal lies in the community." Right? So it's not about Drupal. So it's about community, right? Open source is one thing, but a community is another. If open source does not have a strong community, I don't think like it will sustain for long, right? So why Drupal is staying for long is because it has a huge community. Now the second W. So why Drupal? Because if you want to code, right, just come for the code and stay for the community. Because if you are looking for a job or anything, right, community gives you everything, every nourishment, right? You need a mentor, you need any personal help, right? You can discuss like with people, make friends, right? So I have built so many networking in the conferences, camps, all around. So just go ahead and just for the code, because we are, most of us are programmers, we are looking for code, right? And at the end, when we go for programming, it is just, I think, a lonesome activity sometimes. And when there is a community, you get to interact. So now you become a holistic developer because you have more mentors, you have more peers, right? And they are not your colleagues in the office or something like that. So you discuss like frankly what's happening, what is the problem, and you come to real solutions. So that it's that open. So I think this is my story, right? So I was also a student, and Drupal changed my life, and I'm doing Drupal actively from last, I think, 15 years now. So with Drupal, I also will use Angular, I've used Python, I've done a lot of, I would say, projects with top Fortune 500 companies, top 10 telecoms I work with, NASDAQ I work with, United Nations I work with. So all that, like, I think I'll give the credit to Drupal and its community. So now the third W, right? Because it's important for you to understand, because what potential it has. Otherwise, there's no point of using it, right? And giving it a try as well. So you see G20 happened, right? So Modi ji, right? So it is everywhere, right? G20, we literally, it was one of the biggest events we did, right, in the world. So that website was on Drupal. So it is like it was made by TCS and was on Drupal. United Nations like uses Drupal in UNICEF. They have a website UNICEF. UNDP, they are also on Drupal. Even the government websites. So Drupal is not just to create a blog, right? Its core capability is very secure. So when you talk about other CMSs, they are not very secure. So governments are loving it now. So whole Australian government has been onboarded to Drupal, right? NASDAQ and some of the others you can see, right, who are using Drupal. So in the last session, so it's very easy. So you just go to DDev if you know what DDev is. So DDev is your local host development environment. Like if you have used Python, it has its own virtual environment, right? So it has similar kind of an environment. It's called DDev, and you just have to run one command, DDev start. When you just clone the repo of Drupal and run DDev start, and there you got the Drupal, right? And you can make anything out of it. You can make your blog, your website, a solution, commerce solution, right? Or a social media website. It has a distribution called Open Social, so you can make a whole Facebook like website or something like that, right? Whatever connects to socially to the people. So all that is the Drupal itself is capable, but it starts from very less, right? So it gives you a clean slate, and then you just make your own picture. So this is the last, in the last session I have shared all this, how to install Drupal. So you can watch the last session of IIT Kanpur, right? I had. So you can, there you can get to know how you install the Drupal and how you get from a novice to ninja in Drupal. I've shared my journey as well. So this is like a bit about it, the recap only, right? How to be a novice to ninja. So you just first go and get involved by anything, right? It needs not to be a coding thing. You just go and support for documentation, right? You want to write, you just say, okay, I don't like this article in Drupal, edit it, right? And say, okay, and this has a mistake, right? So you are supporting and you are contributing back to Drupal. So you're just writing, you are a content writer, right? And you are still contributing to Drupal. Or you submit a patch if you are a developer. If you test those patches, if you are a quality analyst, right? Anything like you feel of, like you are a BA, business analyst. You just do some requirements of a module and write a page for that module or documentation for that module. So you can contribute in any damn ways in Drupal. So it's nothing like only programmers can do it. So you just can sign up, right? And there are some how to install Drupal. So I'll be sharing this so you can go through. And if you want to just say hi to someone and join few channels like AI, hashtag AI channel is there on Drupal. So you can join that. So there is a channel link. So you can just click on it and just get started from there. So now we'll get into this session, right? This session is regarding Drupal AI, right? So I think AI is, I would say, very trending, yet like we are using it, I would say, but we do not know like how to get the real value out of it, right? We are doing stuff, we are doing some like I would say like we are not paying attention to like if we have a pro version, right? If I get that pro version in certain cost, it gives me some tokens, right? As whatever I can utilize in that particular subscription, and then how those tokens are mapped to the real world value. Let's say now Claude Code, we can generate an app, right? The whole code with Claude Code. But does it really valuable if you are not generating the right thing? You are not giving the right context window to it, right? And how much does it cost also, right? So it is very, I would say, it's a big topic, right? So I would not go into prompt engineering, context window, and all those AI stuff because I'll limit it to AI, Drupal AI. So here we have all that into a AI module suite. So it's a core one core module is there which is called Drupal AI. So you just go install Drupal AI on top of it. So it is for site builders, developers, and administrators. So you just have to install it. We'll go next. So this is the core module. So what core module does is it provides you set of providers. So now maybe you know, right? There are various AIs, and sometimes you feel like which AI is better, right? And maybe like some AI is better at something, but other is better at something, right? So how it designed by core is core provides you just providers. It does not do any damn thing. So it provides you a core framework to connect to different providers. So let's say you want to have image analysis or want to generate a code. There are certain use cases. So if you want to have those use cases, you can map it to, let's say, image to a different provider, let's say OpenAI, and maybe Claude Code for code generation, right? So you can, so it is not restricted to just, you can just use one model for one thing. You want to translate, you can use maybe Google Translate, right? So all that is provided by core. So you can configure multiple providers, and then there are these sub modules. AI automators are there which automate workflows. So let's say you have a publishing workflow, or maybe you have a blog, right? And you want your blog post to be scheduled maybe in a week. You write content, you generate content using AI in Drupal. AI content module is there, right? Generate a right content with the right context window, I would say, right? And you want, let's say you generated 100 blogs on one particular niche topic, right? And now you cannot publish them once, right? So you use AI automators which will post your those blogs on social media platforms, maybe, right? So you can use this automator, but these are mostly like for workflows, right? Whatever workflows you want to automate, you can use this module. AI search is a very interesting module. It is also based on vector search, right? Like it feeds in all the, I would say, context, plus it takes your prompt and it search the right thing. I think if you search like which t-shirt has this particular maybe graphic on that, right? It will search in that particular image also, right? So AI semantic search can do that, but other like searches are not that much capable. So AI assistants, chatbot, this will have a demo on. AI content, I've already discussed, and AI translate also, Amana will showcase. So any questions till now? Let's have it a bit interactive. So I think it's only one way. So do you have any questions till now? Yeah. Yeah, this is I think I explained that already. So I just summarize the question so that everyone know what the question is. So she asked like how Drupal is different from WordPress, Joomla, or maybe Magento, right? So Magento, if you say, or WordPress, right? So let's say Magento first, right? WordPress everyone knows. Magento is dedicated e-commerce platform. So it is dedicated to that particular thing, and when you scale up, you have a license cost to pay, right? But and your product will scale up, and Magento have all the plugins paid. So this is what I said. It's open source, and the real essence of open source is it should be always free, right? During your journey also it should be free. It should not be like, okay, now you reach this, now we will charge you, right? So this is like very, I would say, like, then you will say, okay, how is it open source completely then, right? Because now what you are paying is they have proprieted that particular thing, and now you are selling the same thing, and they build something on the open source thing which community built it, right? So that is something very different in Drupal, because along the way also you need not to pay anything. You have to, you can custom develop it on your own, and if you want some service from service provider, there are service providers as well. If you want to build some other custom feature, or maybe you want something else, there are service providers for it. But those service providers also are contributing back to modules, but they are not charging, and it's not, they are not allowed to, right? But that's the real essence of the community. No one is doing that malpractice, right? So it's very good. Like that's why I'm with that community, right? So I love the community, so that's why I'm there. So I think that answers your question, right? Is there any other question? Yeah.
Open source if you like it, or also provide services to make many models and other things. It is, but it is like open source. Am I correct that it is the open source and free version of Azure, and or it is having additionally community which Azure doesn't have?
So I don't think like Azure is open source, right? Open source, the definition of open source is like the code is open for all. Let's say, yeah.
I'm saying like we have to pay for, we have to buy a subscription or pay for what services we use, but in Drupal we don't use, we don't need to pay for it.
No, that's what like open source is, right? So first, when you download WordPress, let's say, you're not paying for downloading and using, and then you are hosting that website and you are modifying that code as well. So that's the power of open source. But when it scales, maybe they'll charge you for a plugin or something. But for Azure, when you sign up only, right? Maybe there will be some credit you can utilize. That is something on the infra level or something like that. But Drupal is a CMS. So let's say there is an organization or you have your content, maybe any content, right? You day to day have data, maybe your blogs, right? You write or whatever you do, right? Related to you have a journal, whatever, right? Or maybe resume you are building, right? So whatever data you have, so with that data, right, it, let's say it is a content management system. So any data which you think as a content, that is a content for you, and you can display to that to the public users or maybe a certain set of users, private users. So it allows you to manage that. So I'll give you an example so that you better understand. So content is one thing. Now maybe you want to show that content. It's a website basically. It builds a website, right? And then you show that website, let's say blog, to users, and then you have your authors as well. So how they will register, because it has that inbuilt functionality. Okay, if someone registered on some particular URL, it assigns that particular role to him, or he can verify that okay he has the right thing, and then you verify. So all the things are inbuilt. So you need not to code for that because it's built for you by the community, and it is not like in the core itself, but you have to install some modules as per you want, right? If you want that feature, you just install that module and it will work for you. So this is, I think, if it may answers your question. Yeah? Any other questions? Okay, so we'll have this Q&A session at the end as well. So I'll move forward. So this is what I just want to show you, right? So now there will be a real use case, right? What we will do in Drupal, it will not be just chatting with it, like building something real time, right? If you have a blog or something, I'm just giving that small example so that you understand, but it has limitless capabilities. So now the chat module again, right? It has various providers you can connect with, right? You can switch any provider. So it will look like something like this. It will have that chat window and you can interact. So, but this will be something like AI on Drupal, right? So AI will be building on Drupal, right? So here we'll have a demo after I think Manav continues on translations, right? So he will discuss some cool stuff on if you have maybe multilingual kind of thing, right, which is global, right, and how to do those kind of translations. So he'll explain you all that first, and then we'll dive into the demo. Yeah, over to you. Anand. Yeah, you can take this.
Hello, everyone.
Yeah.
AI So, Google, when you want Google, so it will you lot of functions. For example, it will you default translation, it will you configuration, many. Okay. So, like Google has some limitation. Whatever you want to, for example, this is default translation. We are talking about translation. Okay. So, Google has some limitation. Suppose if you have a Google and you saw it, you are using. So you want to translate your content. So there are some limitations. What are the limitations? Suppose you translate a page. So there is no option to back that thing. Okay. And suppose if you have translated the page, you want to again translate, you have to go to something. So this is there are many things as well. So for translation thing, you have to hire translator. Because suppose you translate it in English and you want to translate the website in different languages, so you have to translate and it will cost you okay. So there are things when you translate content, things you are translating text. Okay, so but every page and every page and module, mode, and many things. For example, FTH, for example, this is many markets ads. Okay. So if you translate content, so reference in a single market. So this is required translation. And as suppose if you have translated the page and you want to pick up the you want to pick up and you want to pick up to team or anyone, so you have to again connect with your translator or translator. Okay. So there are many things like that. I can say this issue of this implementation we have of ENT. So next slide we will discuss about it. So what ENT is? ENT is a translation engine. It's a module. So you have a Google, you just need to install the module and you will access. So what it does, it will add request from the user. Okay. And based on the request, it will create a job queue. And every job has different types of things. Okay. And this module provides you 32 service providers. And each service provider has their own function. For example, DeepL. So DeepL is an AI provider which will get job from the AI champion and send it to the AI service provider. And once service provider translated that content into the appropriate, and it will send it back to the. So it will be hardly 2 seconds or 3 seconds of flight. Okay, so there are other service providers as well, and that's the next area we will discuss about how this one can publish use you this service provider.
So I think you must be wondering, right, why this deviation, right, translation management tool, why we are talking about this, because it has the same architecture, I would say. Like the providers will understand like translation job is sent, so the same way AI, your prompt will be sent, right, in that particular context window which we'll define. So this is the same pattern, but this is one of the features you can also utilize with that AI module. So I'll just move forward. So let's dive into Drupal AI, right? I'll just open. I cannot click. Can you just? I cannot click on this link. I want to open this link, the demo link.
IIT on board.
Just click this link. I think this is a PDF, right?
No, PPT on PPT. Okay, so I can do.
आपको मैंने वो किया जीमेल पे शेयर किया था.
लिंक भी सेंड किया क्या?
हाँ.
Okay, मैं वो कर देता हूँ. हाँ.
Well, so till he get the link up and working, right? So on this particular demo, we'll see, right, what I was talking about. Let's say you want to build your blog, right? So how you will do that? So it's very difficult for a non-programmer, right, to do all this, right, and maybe like to do a real-time thing on some platform, right, using maybe like a real-world use case. So what we'll be doing, we'll be chatting through a Drupal AI chatbot, and we'll just ask him to do some stuff around Drupal, and we'll achieve that. So this will be like we'll be sharing after this, and then we'll have some like networking things, right? We'll be sharing some scan codes, and all you guys can scan that and reach us out to, right? And then we'll have a little Q&A session at the end, like maybe if you still have more questions on that. It's up. Yeah, this page.
मैं शेयर करता हूँ इसकी स्क्रीन फिर उसमें आ जाएगी वो.
Yeah, share.
अभी इसकी जरूरत नहीं है ना फिर ये.
नहीं इसकी we will need to come back to this so they can.
अभी मैं इसकी स्क्रीन शेयर कर देता हूँ.
हाँ वो कर दो.
शेयर स्क्रीन. या फिर इस नाम demo.mo ये तो यूसीबीटी है, डेमो डॉट मोबाइल। ओके यार, हाँ उसको अभी वहाँ से ऐड कर रहा हूँ, आ जाएगा।
Okay, so now here you see what I was talking about provider. So I have integrated this Anthropic and OpenAI. I think he's playing again. Yeah. So now you see these are all the settings which AI module provides, and there are some modules through which these settings are coming up. So this is the provider, right? Screen. You can n number of providers you can configure. So with an API key, so all have one kind of authentication system, right? So just create your own new key. So for OpenAI, just go to their platform and create it and add that provider. It's very simple. So I've added that, and once you have added that, so for speech, chat, image, you can select different providers, as I said, right? So and also the model you want, right? So you can see like for chat also there are for with structured response or complex JSON, image vision, right? So you can switch the provider. So I think now I have saved the provider settings like for the chatbot. Now I'll show you the context window I was talking about. So to this chatbot, there are few agents here which we have already created, like your category agent, field agent, and content type agent. So now this has that context window that okay, I can do all this because I have those agents which can do stuff. So now it's asking how he can help. He can help me. So I'm just asking because I have given the context window. This is very important because I have given that context window. If you do not define the context window, then it will have you blah blah responses, right? So now, according to the context window, I have categories, I have content types, right? And I have fields. So these three things, now he's saying, okay, he can do it for me, right? And this is good. Why? Because we will not do everything, right? Which I do not want. I just want this. So I want to create a blog and I want a content type called blog for that, let's say. So see, these are the only agents here and it is telling me it can do these things for me. Generate, edit vocabularies like categories, right? Fields, it can edit, reorder, right? Change form and create content types for me. So I'll just ask this, because this is a content management system, so you need to have a content type to create a type of content. So I just want my type of content here is simple blog, right? So I'll say, okay, create a blog content type with body field. And author field. So now it has the context of both the things, both the entity types, which is content type and field. So I am also giving a certain prompt in that context window. So now it's saying, okay, this content type is created. And if you have to do in real life, it is very like, you need to create it manually. So now it has created that. So I'll just go and open that. I think there's a dot, so I'll just remove it. Okay, so here you can see that block content type which is created. And the content type is now created. So I'll just move a bit like I'll just forward this. So block content type is created. I'll just showcase also like there is also this field gets created. So I just want to showcase quickly to you guys because we have less time. So I'm asking here to create a new field. So this will create a field for me, right? It has created. So this is like a bit like how you can utilize it, and there can be endless, but this is very easy for you to do. Just try it, right? So this is one of the use case you can. We'll just. Can you help me with this? Excuse me. Yeah, it's coming. Yeah, I got it. So I think I'll just share quickly our LinkedIn profile links, right? So you just scan like for Arjun, you can connect there, right? And to me, you can connect here. Just say hi. We can have a conversation. Like if you have a problem statement or you don't understand anything, you can connect there. And maybe if you want to get indulged into the community, so we have a big camp coming. Like we are organizing that camp in like through Drupal community. So we are lead organizers there. So Arjun and me, and there are a couple of more. So just say hi, and if you hop into Delhi, right? We have it in IIT Delhi, right? So you can just join that, and we can collaborate there as well. Just say hi on LinkedIn, guys, and huh? Demo is yeah, I think I can share these videos with you so that you guys can have this, and also just scan this link for presentation, right? All the links are there. So if you have this presentation, you have everything in this talk. So just scan this and get to this presentation, and yeah, you can refer later. Yeah, you just have this as a presentation, right? So yeah, that you'll have. Okay. Thanks everyone for bearing us. I think they have some. Yeah.
If you have any of the questions, you can ask.
They've already asked us. Yeah.
So, hi everyone. So, somebody asked the question, what is why Drupal? And what is the difference between Drupal and other CMS? Okay. So, I give you people.
I think she asked you.
Yes, she asked. Okay. So, we have so many CMS.
Just,
WordPress,
I think
okay, every CMS has
ऐसे कर लो आपको comfortable हो जाए.
okay. Now come to the WordPress. So if you think about WordPress is one of the simplest CMS, and you know,
We need to get that dinner. So I have more conversations I want to have.
This is the reality. Okay. Now come to the Magento is a e-commerce tool. Okay. Same thing. Open up. Supplies is also a CMS. Okay, now come to the Drupal. So Drupal is not a CMS. It's CMS plus paper. Sometimes it's work as a CMS. Content management framework. Sometimes it's work as a content management system. And there is no limitation. WordPress has a limitation. Okay, so in the for example, in WordPress, you cannot create a roles different kind of roles. Okay, you have a limitation solver. If you want to create a role, you have to install a plugin. Maybe that plugin will be paid or free. It's depend. But in Drupal, this is the default function. You can create as much as permissions, as much as role, I mean, n number of roles. There is no limitation. Same thing, you can think Drupal as a simple website. You can think Drupal as a e-commerce website. Anything. Okay, suppose if you have a simple clear Drupal installation, there is nothing, and you want to convert your website into e-commerce. You don't need to do anything. You just need to install a module, e-commerce module, Drupal forms. That's it. And you want to use any payment gateway with that module. So, for example, paper. Go to the Drupal.org, install paper, provide your information, KYC and everything, or key. That's it. Use it. Your e-commerce website ready to use, and you can use it. If you want to If you want a ready-made solution, there is also a ready-made solution on Google. Just click 2-3 clicks, your website, you have a website, you have a product, you have everything. Okay, so there are a lot of things, and there is, there is no limitation. Okay, and second thing is it's open source. Third thing is we have one of the biggest community in the world. Drupal community is one of the biggest community in the world. If you have any problem, anything, any issue, just go to the Drupal.org or Slack and post your issue. You will get a response within a half an hour or 1 hour or within a day. Okay, so there are many things as well. You can convert your e-commerce website with any blog website. And at the same time, you can use both the website in a single. You can convert your single website in a multi-level website. You can convert your website into a multi-site website. I mean, the main domain will be same, and you can, and code will be same. But you are using different level websites in a single common code. So there are a lot of things. Okay, so I hope.
Thank you.
Thank you, Manav and Paritoshi. Now, Neeraj will be presenting us on building adaptive AI-native experiences with authorized intelligence. Let's welcome them.
Thank you. All right. How's everyone doing? Sleepy? No. Okay. Make your legs move. Make your hands move. You guys will be much more interactive and alive when we talk. Okay. See, we had a fantastic conversation and a talk from Drupal folks. Interestingly, he also gave them SLA for open source.
Yeah.
The way you say, so I think I spoke a bit about my background and what I'm doing. So I'm not going to spend a lot of time on that, but I'll just talk a bit about where's the clicker for this? Yeah. So like I said, I'm the co-founder and CTO of Drupal. I've been a long time contributor to open source. I led the STO service mesh community for like close to 5-6 years as part of the POC steering. And I built a company in open source, around the open source project for Alaska Mesh. Who among you had listened to my talk yesterday, keynote conference? Right, few of you. Awesome. Yeah, so that was more basic. I want to talk about how different societal structures map to AI. And what we are doing in AI is basically a new communication paradigm. Right? So today I'm going to go into a little bit more details about what we are building, why are we building it in the open, and how we can have an impact around it. So, quick 2 questions. First, how many of you are here from computer science or electronics background? All right, good. So I'm fairly in the right audience. And secondly, how many of you are second year your undergrad or below, or like second year or below? Awesome. So, pardon me if some of this goes out of your head. Stop me. I'm happy to go into the details. Right? In a student audience, you never know what kind of demographics you can get. So you can just tell me, hey, Neeraj, I'm not understanding this concept. I'm happy to explain it. Okay? So, what's happening today, right? So everyone is using ChatGPT. Who here is not using ChatGPT? Right? You won't lift your hands. Why would you? Right? So everyone is using it. So this is the data that is most of the users are young users, as you would expect, right? Many of them from Indian reach around 1 billion plus by the end of 2025. Currently, I think there are 800 million weekly active users, right? So once a week, at least 800 million people go to ChatGPT. We have 1.4 billion plus people just in India. So what's going to happen when 7 billion plus people start using AI? Right? That's the question that we need to solve. So yesterday there was a presentation from the Red Hat Labs folks, amazing professors from University of California, I think UCLA. How are we going to create a sustainable AI ecosystem when 7 billion people, 7 billion plus people use it? Are we going to power the massive gigawatt with GPU farms that have been proposed, right? This is not how India is going to achieve the Indian sovereign AGI, right? We have so many millions of people living in villages. We have so many small shopkeepers to other domain folks who don't really have a lot of intelligence, a lot of access to those GPU farms, or the chat GPT won't, the open AIs of the world won't be subsidizing AI. So if we want to build an AI ecosystem that works globally for all the people, local intelligence comes in. So we believe AI should be personal. So what I mean by that is AI is the first technology, I believe, where it can work fairly well for me. I would consider me a very advanced user in terms of AI and computer science. For my son is 4 years old now, he'll be 4 years. He's talking to ChatGPT right now. He does most of the days, he's talking to it and trying to find something about solar systems. And my dad, who is nearly 70. So AI can be a technology that can personalize technology for different generations of people. It can calibrate towards who is using it. Today also, if you, like my dad's probably older than any of your dad, but he prefers picking up a phone and getting a cab, right? How many of your dads prefer that over going over Uber and Ola and all the nonsense? So the problem is the technology context has to be given to AI, which we cannot do if we're not doing it in a secure private manner. That's where the privacy comes into the picture. And when you combine personal AI with private AI, the third thing which makes it all possible is going to be local AI. We don't have to run AI in the massive data centers. We can run AI in our devices where the data resides. And the underpinnings of all of this will be a lot of open and transparent infrastructure, right? Whenever you think about infra layers that we are building, like I was saying, open source plays the most critical factor, because for security researchers, for the adoption of it, you need the code to be visible. You need to understand what's happening with the code and build layers on top of it. That's where the open and transparency comes in. So this is what we aim to build, right? We should have local intelligence, local AI agents which can run across our devices. It can be wearables, it can be laptops, it can be your mobile phones. We were talking with Volkswagen, they were running in the audio infotainment system of the automobiles, and all of them can be in a connected web where the intelligence is shared, the data is shared, but it is not given to a third party for monetization, right? So how do we build this? That's the question. So one of the things that we discovered working on-device, so I've been working with on-device machine learning before AI came out. So on-device machine learning transformed to on-device AI, but some of the earlier concepts still make sense. In the sense of it's a very, very fragmented community. It's a very, very fragmented ecosystem. You have so many devices, so many hardware, mobile phones and specs. It's hard to unify them. Secondly, you have GPU, you have CPU. How many of you know what an NPU is? What's an NPU? Neural processing unit, right? So these are specialized compute units that are available in most of the phones today, which can do manual and transformation like operations much faster, right? So you have to build an abstraction over all of them if you run AI and machine learning in these devices. Then you have the application layer, which is Kotlin, Swift, God knows how many more application layers runtimes are available. And then behind it is where all the logic for the AI is, right? You have the various kinds of models, whether it's Llama, Quen, small LFM. LFM is the liquid foundation model built by Liquid AI, very smart folks building it. And then the giant models coming from the big frontier labs, right? So the biggest problem with running AI and machine learning on these devices is unifying this fragmentation. And that's what we set out to build at Nimble Edge. So we built an open source platform. It's called Delight AI. It allows you to run AI locally on your mobile phones, on your laptops, and it allows you to run it very fast in a way where you can build agentic systems easily on top. So there are three key pillars here for us. First is we have done some optimizations in the inference stack so AI can run locally in a constrained device much faster. So for running AI on mobile phones, you're constrained on GPUs. You don't have GPUs most of the time. Even the memory is constrained, right? Right now, 4 GPUs is the norm of the phones. But even then, running a billion parameter model requires close to 1.2 to 1.5 gigs of memory. You have to do a lot of optimizations to make sure you don't overshoot that. One of the hardest problems today with AI, and this is coming from some of the computational researchers in the US, is how do you verify that the agents you're building is actually doing the work it's supposed to do? How do you verify that? And how do you orchestrate them reliably? Right? So there's a lot of research going on in universities to build a reliable evaluation and verification system. So we are trying to incorporate some of those into our platform. And the last is how can we build a lot of tools and agents so this AI can easily do some of these actions. Right? I'll show you some demos of the things that we have built to get it more concretized. But the idea here is can the applications, you go to your go to your Zomato, go to your ATM, can they leverage AI natively to better understand the application for them, right? So most of the time, the North Star for machine learning and AI always tends to be hyper-personalization in the consumer space. So one of the interesting things we found out when building this platform was there's a gap between different teams that are building these apps. So we were talking with Dream11 a lot, we spoke with Swiggy. The front-end team is the team which writes typically your Kotlin code or the Swift code, right? They are building the UI and the logic behind it. The machine learning code is written by the machine learning codes, the ML scientists or the AI scientists. The language they use is, what's the language most of the ML people use? Python. Okay. How do you bridge this gap? ML folks want to write Python. The front-end folks want to write in the language of their choice. Have you ever written it? So what we did is we created. So with that, we are able to run Python on your phones, and in all the devices, the Python is not needed there. So that normally we are able to build and deliver to the whole global community, right? So the way we did it is we wrote a very, very thin Python interpreter from scratch in C++. So this Python sits in between the Kotlin and the Swift layer and the underneath cross-platform code within C++. So what that means is the application code, if you want to make a call to the AI subsystem, you can go through Python and you can write all the crazy feature processing and data munging in Python there. And then the Python will call the underneath code platform. Similarly, from the Python stack, you can invoke Android functions or Swift functions, and also the application code can be triggered, so you get two-way cross-functional tool calling. With this now, what we solved is, in the systems where Python is not natively available, you can reliably run and do quick iterations. You're not stuck with the app lifecycle of writing Swift code, and the machine learning can reliably deliver the machine learning code. Okay, I'm going to stop here. This might have gone over few folks. I'm happy to answer. Any questions? Yes, please.
And what is cross-platform code?
So cross-platform code is the code that mostly can run on any of the platforms, whether it's Android, iOS, macOS. The code you write in C, C++ mostly is code like that. So normally what you try to do is very performant code which you want to write and you want to deliver across the stack. You want to write in C++. So I'm a C++ developer at heart, so that's what we do. Yeah, so the benefits we got of creating this architecture is one of the most important things that is out there with applications is applications don't want to increase their app size. Anytime an application size increases by a certain amount, they get uninstalled. So what we had to do was we had to build very efficient data sharing mechanisms. So we are not copying the data across the stack. So the way we do it is when the request, for example, the app is calling a backend API code, it's getting the body, we are copying we are taking the memory pointers from the Kotlin layer all the way down without copying any bytes. So it created a very efficient way of serializing, deserializing data, and it made sure that the app binary doesn't get bloated, nor does the memory gets occupied. And most importantly, the less copies you do in your system, the faster your system becomes, right? This is one of the most interesting things. This is also open source. I think the link might be in the next slide. So anyone has heard of the concept of contextual sparsity or what sparsity in an LLM is? So you guys have heard of LLMs, right? Okay. So most of the time, when you ask LLMs a question, what happens is it activates all the neurons that are there in the neural network of the LLM, right? And there are normally many layers. There might be like 6 to 10 MLP layers and other attention layers. But the problem is, most of the time, the answers come from a very small subset of the neural network. So if I ask you, what's your name? What's your name? So it probably came from one small part of your brain, right? I didn't ask you to solve the most complex problem of creativity, right? So you didn't have to activate all of this. So most of the time, what happens is whenever you ask LLMs a question, it is activating everything. There is only needs a small subset. So what we do with contextual sparsity is we are predicting what neurons will get fired, and we are only loading and activating those neurons in memory. So once you do that, you are able to get around 2x faster inference with 30% less memory. This is a very complex graph. I can't go over it right now, but you can look into this link in our GitHub. It is one of the most, I would say, one of the most interesting, innovative work we have been doing. And we are going to the IIT conference to present on it. So we hope to get a lot more developers contributing. And the last thing I think which is going to happen in the next few years is the AI layer is going to be the interface between all the technology and humans. And it's going to be some sort of a assistant. This assistant is going to be the personalized private assistant that helps you do things more productively. It has a shared intelligence layer across the application stack and can do a lot of cross-application context management. So I have 3 demos to show because talking about things doesn't make things easy. Let's hope those demos work. So this demo, the first demo here is an Android application that we have built. I'll share the link. You guys can download it right now. It runs the entire LLM stack with speech recognition and text-to-speech that we all wrote in India with a group of 5 to 10 people. And it can do the entire stack on your phones. It requires around 2 GB of RAM or less. Can I play this video? I want to play this video. I mean, I bet it's here. Normally opens. Actually, I can just go for it. Okay, so this is showing the audio not there. Should be there. So how do you do this? I think this one. Give us 2 minutes. I'll just start the video and you'll see how this app is able to do the entire stack locally on your phone. Without never going to the cloud.
costing just $150 or gigabytes of RAM, demonstrating that a flagship device isn't necessary to experience English AI. official Insta page, which is OSA underscore IIT. So we'll posted
So in the fuzzy fabric,
The laptops are all on full volume. You have always to turn off the speakers for all the laptops in there.
in the fuzzy fabric, the software that you're testing is not a software under test. And you have a puzzle, the huge box that you can see here in the puzzle, and a seed corpus. A seed corpus is basically expected inputs that run in your application. And this is something that couples your puzzle with your software under test. And the selection that you see at the bottom is the unexpected behavior that is got after the puzzle runs the input to your application. So the puzzle consists of instrumentation. Instrumentation is something that we have seen here. The last input, which we do not want. Instrumentation is something that adds hooks to your application to track which input is performing well, which input is causing an error, catching it, or which input is traveling or fast in your program. Like the first one and the second one were good. They were increasing the coverage in your application. But the last one was not good because it was just running your application without increasing the coverage. So instrumentation is used to track the inputs which are giving a good coverage. And then comes randomness and formatter. So randomness is the one that is responsible for randomness in your input. If you have input from the C corpus, it then mutates it and then randomize in a randomized fashion, it mutates it, and then you have the formatter. Suppose you have a program that parses HTTP well. You need to have your input in a certain format. That's why formatting considered format such input so that it can be passed to your application. And when there is a crash, the worker is responsible for catching it and detects and it notifies you that there is a crash. So in simple terms, something is a way of testing software by automatically feeding lots of generated inputs, random output examples. Examples is the recorders, or you can do it randomly, and at the end we can find if there is a crash or a regular program here. Now let's come back to why fuzzing. So fuzzing is also an element testing with automated input generation. So it is because it exercises unusual work tasks that you see. Apart from the ones that you think might be there, you get inputs that might actually catch an application. And it detects the crashes, notifications, leaks, and hands in your application. And it also generates a minimal reproducible test case for triaging, fixing the bugs where it is solved, and it also continuously improves coverage with feedback guided for the. Now coming to the open printing ecosystem, Johan might have listened to the talk that was given by Kay yesterday about the open printing ecosystem that we. Open printing is part of the Linux Foundation, and we maintain the printing stack for Unix-based operating systems and ensuring interoperability between printers. And open printing also provides critical libraries, drivers, and tools that are used in distros. But the projects that
I focused on in this project was where GoIPP, IPP-USB, PyCups, and PyPPD. These are critical Go and Python-based open printing projects. GoIPP is a Go library for internet printing protocol, which helps Go applications communicate with printers using the internet printing protocol. And IPP-USB is IPP over USB daemon that that lets printers communicate via IPP. And PyCups is a Python bindings for libcups, which helps in managing print jobs and queues using Python applications. And PyPPD is a Python utility for parsing and managing PostScript printer description files. These are the files that give you information about the status of the printer. The first project that I focused on was GoIPP. This has critical functions like decode bytes and decode bytes X, and it also parses collections and tag extensions. These are critical these are critical input functions where the like suppose decode bytes is a function that parses IPP requests, raw IPP requests into structured Go data. This input can be it can lead to an error. So randomly mutated inputs were passed through decode byte and decode byte X functions to find errors, and also a round trip around encode and decode functions to see if there's a to validate the serialization integrity, and to check if there are any silent data corruption inside the round trip of encoding and decoding of internet printing protocol. And this also has the collection and tag extension parsing, which was also tested using fuzzing. Coming to the second project, which is IPP-USB. This is a daemon that helps IPP over USB communication. And the three things that I focused on in this were the USB fuzzer, which communicates between the USB and your host device. So the inputs between those, and the HTTP client fuzzer, the HTTP requests that are sent from printers and servers. Those can also be a good target for attackers. So it can also be malformed, and those were also tested using fuzzing. Coming to the third project, which was PyCups. This is a Python bindings for libcups. Libcups basically helps you, like PyCups helps you query the printer or send a print job to the printer, and it has authentication and buffer handling functions, file input and output functions, print job management functions. These handle critical user inputs, so there's a risk of edge cases that might occur. This was tested using OSS fuzz. And the last one is UTF-8 conversions. This is also a critical function that that converts the UTF-8 into parsable Python-based structures. So it's also a critical input function that can cause crashes and might corrupt the application. The last project was PyPPD, and there were several functions in this as well. PyPPD is a Python utility for parsing the PostScript printer description files. So there were functions like parse and compression for PostScript printer files, and the file lookup functions, and also the command line parsing was tested using fuzzing. Coming to what OSS fuzz is, it is an infrastructure that is provided by Google that lets you run your fuzz harnesses on their infrastructure. It is a free software, and some statistics about OSS Fuzz is that it has helped identify and fix over 10,000 vulnerabilities and 36,000 bugs across 1,000 open source projects. And it supports multiple fuzzers like libfuzzer, AFL++, hongfuzz, and centipede. And it also supports multiple languages: C, C++, Go, Java, JavaScript, Rust, and Swift. And it supports two CPU architectures, x86-64 and IT86. Let me talk about the challenge that I came across during this, which was while I was fuzzing IPP USB. It is a software that, like, most of its functions depend on a hardware. You need to have an IPP over USB device connected to your system for running it. So it was not possible for testing it. I took help from Alexander, who is the author of Go IPP and IPP USB, and he helped me develop. He helped me with developing IPP over USB emulator. So we did not require a hardware for that for testing it. With proper class, subclass, and protocols, these are basically required. Like 07 is that it's a printer class, 01 is a printer subclass, and 04 is a IPP over USB protocol. And the virtual IPP over USB device that I built, it supported required interfaces, the bulk in and bulk out, so that there can be proper communication of the USB device with the client. And it also allowed IPP USB, the daemon, to connect and exchange the requests. Now, why it mattered is because IPP USB is a standalone project, and it required hardware. So my strategy was to implement a black box testing setup. It is basically, you don't need to know the code behind it. You just test the whole. You test the daemon as a whole, and by developing the IPP over USB emulator, there was no dependency on physical printers, and it also exposed to realistic request and response flow for fuzzing. And at the end, it also cleared a path for OSS fuzz integration, which is because OSS fuzz, you cannot have a hardware IPP over USB device for testing it under the OSS fuzz infrastructure. At the end, I would like to thank these people, Till, who is the head of open printing. He helped me with the whole process, with getting to know about open printing, connecting me with the required people, and being there always in every meet and every time for sorting out any issues. And there is this guy, George Andre. He is the senior security engineer at Snap. He and Jiangxi Yu, both of these people have helped me with their expertise in fuzzing and OSS fuzz. Jiangxi Yu is a PhD student at Singapore Management University, and also Alexander Pelsner. He was the he is the author of Go IPP and IPP USB, who helped me with integrating Go IPP and IPP USB into OSS fuzz. And I would also like to thank the community, the Open Printing and the Linux Foundation community, and the Google Summer of Code community, and the maintainers of OSS fuzz as well, for being helpful and merging my pull requests into the Google's OSS fuzz infrastructure. That's it. And if there are any questions. You can connect me on GitHub, Instagram, X, or Instagram with the same username, MDIMADO. All right, then, if there are no questions, thank you.
Great.
Thank you.
Nice talk.
Are you going to say something?
What?
Are you going to say something?
No. And nice that you have also shouted me out. So I was back in time from the workshop room where I've helped the speaker after me to set up.
Actually, I had my workshop yesterday, but because of the Google Summer of Code session, I couldn't conduct the workshop.
You have dropped the workshop for the Google Summer of Code session. You had better given the workshop.
There was no one in the lecture hall there.
This is bad. Somehow there something with the local organization did not work well then.
Can we conduct it today? Or
I don't know whether we have still space in some room, because it's very sad that you did not give your workshop. Yes, we have one problem. He did not. I did not get note of this yesterday. He has not given his workshop. Is there a chance that he can give it today? Is there some room free for that? At least 60 minutes or so.
I have tried several, but actually,
It's all full because everyone wanted to give their contribution on the Saturday.
I think that will not be possible.
As he told, on the original place, when he wanted to give it, there was no one in the room, so nobody of you or so has sent messages out to Telegram, or as you are doing currently, whoever does it, because everything is delayed. And what they started to do is announcing everything on time. Yes. The mic needs to stay. Otherwise, you're going to another thing. What you are doing, what you're talking about will be on the screen of this. Only that you're not disappointed about me or so that the workshop did not take place. I have scheduled it, but they did not manage to get do the right announcements. So that yes. So everyone that was did not want to miss that session. So this means your intention is really great. I think it's good. I'm very sorry that they did not response. Everyone wants to see this piece of data that must be more us testing.
Guys, we'll stop for a break and we'll meet again at 3 o'clock. There are still sessions going on in L12 and L13, so if you want to join that, you can go ahead. Thank you.
let us do that. So that's known. Fine. To where? Yes, 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 yes. Yes, we can give at least the first part. Ah, yes. Especially this workshop is rather it is delayed because of all was delayed, and it is going half into the lunch break. Yes. But also after the lunch, generally people don't come online. Great. Thank you very much. So what do you do, speakers? Great teamwork. Yes, yes. I would like to only put this one in and let it to this visible place. Where are the small microphones? I put it only into this box as the box is a charger. Where's the second of the small microphone? Where? Yes, yes. So this box charger there.